Thank you, Madam Chair. The dialogue will be focusing on how best do we run our country. There are so many of us in this country who have always been complaining about how the country is governed. I think every Zimbabwean has an idea, they have a view of how they want things to move on. And that is exactly what governance is. So in this platform, we'll be opening to every Zimbabwean, what do you think is the best way of running the country? Do you think we should, that's what the dialogue is all about. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before you sit down, Professor, your next question is, are the issues of the role of the police and the army part of the dialogue? If they are, is it not dangerous for political parties to get into security sector discussions?
They are part of the dialogue. Everything Zimbabwean, we have said this about governing ourselves. What the police will do is what is part of governing ourselves. What our army does is part of governing ourselves. So it can never be dangerous to talk about our army and to talk about our police. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The last question before you sit down, Professor Maduku. Parties in this dialogue do not have members in parliament. Some parties in this dialogue do not have members in parliament. How are you going to ensure that your recommendations are implemented?
First and foremost, dialogue does not happen in parliament. Parliament is created for a particular purpose. We know it, the constitution is clear about that, to make laws, make government accountable. We all see what parliament does every day on television. That is not dialogue. Dialogue must happen outside parliament. And once we have agreed on issues, parliament must respond to the interests of the people. So it's not about you sitting in parliament and opposing what people outside.
The next question is directed to Mr. Divine Hove of NAP. Mr. Hove, what role do political parties play in the issue of the constitution, elections, and governance? What makes them stakeholders?
Thank you very much. I want to begin by appreciating Your Excellency for the opportunity for the nation to dialogue. I also want to recognize Zimbabweans for who they are. Your Excellency, your generation did a great job for fighting for this country. But they are heroes of our times, who are Zimbabweans, who have been subjected to a lot of difficulties. You talk of money shortages, you talk of inflation, prices. I want to recognize Zimbabweans for being heroes of our times, because but with all the suffering, with all the pain, with all the sanctions, with all the victimization of our country, with all the political fighting, we have stood strong. As Zimbabweans, we are heroes to ourselves. Many people may undermine this dialogue, but what we are doing is great, Your Excellency. Whether it will achieve results or not, it's something else. But what you have started, we're bringing down walls, serious walls of hating each other, of attacking corruption. We are bringing that down. And I want to give a message of hope before I answer the question to Zimbabweans. Kana Mwari vane chavari kugadzira achiuinyore tanga tichibikwa semaZimbabwe tichiumbiwa tichigadzirirwa ramangwana rakanaka as a nation, and we will emerge stronger. We are now a reference point, a beacon for the nation.
Thank you.
I'm told America yavane 23 presidential candidates copying after us. I will answer your question now. Constitution yedu yakanaka kuti tiinzwisise. Ndofunga senyika tikudaita zvinhu zvemaform 6 tisataita zvegrade 1. Constitution ndo inotibatanidza. Vanhu pavanenge vakaungana vane tutemo twavo tunovasanganisa. Constitution yedu ndo basa rayo. Saka my only word is to say, dai constitution yedu yanzwisisika kumunhu wese nendimi dzose nekuti matambudziko mamwe atiri kusangana nenyika ndekuti hatisi kuziva constitution inova ndo iri kutibatanidza. Vamwe vachinoda kurarama chinyakare, umambo, usabhuku, asi tava mu a republican state inobatanidzwa constitution.
Thank you very much. Before you sit down, the last question, and please 2 minutes limit. The last question for you, Mr. Howe, is you have electoral reforms as part of your agenda. Given the fact that the next elections are in 2023, why talk about the elections now?
Chishona chinoti chakangwadza ndichakatanga. Hatidi tsika yekuti kwasara mwedzi miviri mitatu takutanga kuti no elections no reforms. No reforms no elections. Ngatitangei kugadzira ma-elections edu pachine nguva. Patinosvika musarudzo pasawana anoti kopaya paTV tikubatirirwa kopaya iko zvino ndo nguva yekuti toita sarudzo in 5 years. Chatiri kuda chii? Sarudzo dzedu ngadzibudise utungamiri hwakanaka hunoisa nyika yedu iende mberi. Sarudzo is the key to good governance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Then the next question is directed at Mr. Netanyahu. Mr. Netanyahu, others argue that issues of governance should be left to elections. Do you think that opposition parties have a role to play?
Shalom. Opposition political parties have a role to play. It's unfortunate actually that they've departed from their role. The role is simple: to complement the government and to provide oversight. I think this can be a situational composition. I save time if you meditate on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question for you, Mr. Netanyahu, is some people say political parties are the worst violators of their own constitutions. They are also the ones that are perpetrators of violence. What moral authority do political parties have to talk on these issues?
I think that if God was to end the world, send people to hell, he would start with political parties. Because they don't live their constitution. The party is a person juristic. The moment you form a political party, it can sue or be sued in its own name. But what we are having is a situation where the president, his wife, and his uncles are the party. So the problem in Zimbabwe right now is we do not have a regulatory framework for political parties. So it is difficult to judge whether certain beliefs, certain decisions done in a political party are regulated by anything. So it's part of the dialogue in our agenda that we will have a regulatory framework so that political parties donate also their political sovereignty to a common pot that governs political parties. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Netanyahu. I think we have heard our leaders in Swiss-Saye dialogue, what is going to be in the dialogue. So I will now defer to my co-convener to take us through the last segment of our thematic presentations.
Thank you, my sister. The youth and women, you have not been left out. Listen to the questions that are centered around the youth and the women. And to do that, I'll have Lady Melba Zapasi, political actor. There is a strong perception that youth and women are not well represented in political parties. For example, in this dialogue, only 2 women were presidential candidates and none of the candidates were below 35 years, which is the UN definition of youth. How does this become an agenda when the people involved are already marginalized? Melba, take it from me.
Okay, thank you for your question. I'll say quadratic equations can never be solved using the Pythagoras theorem. It doesn't apply and it doesn't work. We use the right formulas for specific problems. Zimbabwe is a sovereign country, and in terms of our own Zimbabwe constitution, one has to have attained the age of 40 to be a presidential candidate. However, we are pushing that the youth be included in senior political party structures where they are groomed so that they attain political maturity. When God created us, He created us equal out of His own image. So we cannot leave the woman out. But traditionally, men were and are still those who hold and predominate not only in roles of political leadership, but moral authority, social privileges, and control of property. Henceforth, the underrepresentation of women. It is also perceived that women who get involved in politics are of loose morals, but politics in its original form is clean and smart, but can only be dirtified if played by people who have dirty minds. And this emanated from patriarchy and traditional stereotypes, which played a pivotal role in depriving women an opportunity to be involved in national development and economic issues, and also contributed in women undervaluing their God-given ability and potential, and also that of their fellow women, which we feel there is need of political reorientation of women to develop interest in politics, for politics determines women's cause.
One more second. Thank you. Keep on. The next question is there a way in which this dialogue is deliberately inclusive of youth and women?
Definitely there is. This dialogue is not limited to presidential candidates only, but to all who contested as MPs and councillors in their respective political parties, and this includes the women and youth, hence called political actors dialogue. And in each of the committees we have set up, we have a man and a woman representing, and this speaks of inclusive participation in all sectors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Time Soko, UDF. Political parties are said to use women and youth as fodder of violence. Is this dialogue going to deal with these issues too as well?
Good morning, Zimbabwe. Good morning, all leaders. Your Excellency, I wish to thank you so much for actually giving us this opportunity to be able to work together with you and the rest of the country so that Zimbabwe can become good again. I thank you very much for that. Coming back to the question, okay, before I do that, my name is Mapfumo Peter Gava. I'm the president for United Democratic Front.
Thank you.
I wish to thank my national chairperson, Mr. Shoko, for having been involved so much in all the meetings. I think, yes, in a way, our youth fall prey to political parties because they've got nothing to do, there is no jobs, and they can be easily lured into doing some things that are not very beneficial to themselves because they want to make a living. So, in answer to that, I'll say yes, but we can actually avoid that by teaching them this kind of platform that you have put so that they can hear from you, the elders, that Zimbabwe needs to have some kind of a very balanced and fair system of doing things instead of getting involved in having to maybe give somebody some support because they've been given some token thing.
Your next question, issues of power and how it is distributed are at the center of the discourse on gender. Will this dialogue deal with that issue?
Certainly, it should deal with such issues. I wish to thank also His Excellency in pushing the issue of devolution because if I look at our country, it's actually divided into 10 provinces. I think some of these strategies would work perfectly well if our country is devolved. Devolution does not mean independence from the central system. It actually empowers even the youth to be able to run their own affairs, to be champion of their own destiny within their particular provinces.
Your last question is, most of the women are resident in rural communities. Since your dialogue is in Harare, how will the rest of the population benefit or be part of the dialogue?
I think that has been mentioned before. The effort should be actually to reach out, and for sure, our rural folks don't have any information. They lag far beyond as much as knowledge about whatever government effort is. I'm sorry, I'm going to mention this positively. Soon after elections, all parties depart from the rural areas, and the communities are just left alone. So I think for us to be able to support His Excellency and government, I wish to send this message to our leaders. It is very much needed for leadership to stay with the people because it is them that we are working for. So without that, everybody is coming together here in Harare. So how does the nation develop? How does the nation actually appreciate the efforts which are being done by government? So leaders, let's go back to the people. Let's go back and start to put the fire up again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Last two questions. Now we come into Dr. Willard Mugaza. Are you there? Yes. Young pastor. Two questions. The first one. Zimbabwe, like many other African countries, is experiencing a youth bound, which bound government does not seem to be addressing in their economic and social policies. Will the dialogue deal with these?
Thank you, Convener, Your Excellency, and all dignitaries, and we generally say all protocol observed. In responding to your question, it is very important for us to understand that there are key issues that are at play that require the constant interaction with the young people. Young people in our country, they want to get into business. And there are quite a number of hindrances that they face. We want to deal with those both nationally and internationally. Just as an example, it is very hard for the young people to just register a company. At the moment, it's $100. So through the national dialogue, we want to encourage the government to lower registration fees for the young people if you want to register a company. Secondly, what we want to lobby the government through this national dialogue process is to ensure that as a young person, when I register my company, I also want the government to issue me with a tax clearance certificate immediately. The President has been talking about the ease of doing business. And these are some of the issues that we must overcome as a nation. Then when we want to look at it at the international forum, we have got your multilateral international institutions. We want to say to our government, through this dialogue process, can we engage with the African Development Bank, for example? We want to use the avenue of international trade to get funding. The African Development Bank has highlighted 5 key areas that it is willing to give funding to developing countries: energy, mining, infrastructure, eradicating poverty. So if we engage young people within the whole broader aspect of international trade, then we will be able to attract funding and at least move our young people out of poverty and then allow them to effectively deal with economic issues.
Yes. Your last question, and indeed the last question in this session. There seems to be growing tension between the old and the young. In your opinion, should this be addressed?
Thank you very much. Let me address it like this. It's a very tricky question. All right. The young people, like I said earlier, when they want to engage in business, and the thinking is that the older generation, our veterans, they have fought for the country, and we appreciate that very much. But the young people seem to be pleading with our elders. Can you please just create an environment that can allow us to exploit our own skills, our own talents? Just like, for example, I am coming from the church. We deal with a lot of young people. Mubible munotaura mukunzi kuna mambo akanga aripo ndokumva kwaita mukomana wechidiki ainzi Joseph akanga ane maideas ndokumva anzi iwe Joseph ndakumbokupa kuti umboita tumwe tunhu twese tudiki asi pachigaro ndepano. Saka vechidiki vari kuti zvigaro ndezvenyu, imi muchingotipewo mukana chimbomhanya mukati umu tiite mari. Makarohwa hondo mukadzidziswa kuti nyika inochengetedzwa sei. Chengetedzai nyika, asi isusu tine shungu dzekuti tiite mari nekuti hatirambe tiri vadiki forever. Saka tiri kuda that environment, zvigaro chengetedzai, asi paikonomi apo imborerukai zvishoma tikwanise kuti nyika tibatane. Saka tiri kuti isusu vechidiki vane maideas vari kuti ivo vane maissues eprocurement, kupiwa kwemagovernment tenders. Toda kuti ivo mungotiwo pachikamu kana mukati kune tender ye$100 moti $40 ngaipiwe kune vechidiki, makambani omanikidzwa nemutemo, so that the young people are also involved in procurement and tender issues. So you'll discover that at the moment, as a young person, kana usina company,
haukwanisi kuparticipata muzvinezvi. Makambani chekupedza ndechekuti vechidiki vashungurudzwa necorruption. Vari kuti tiri kutarisira kuti through this national dialogue toda kuita lobby our government kuti issue a corruption clearance certificate for every company. Saka munoziva kuti kana uchoda kutenda unonzi tinoda checks clearance certificate. Saka toda kuti pave nemuchemo unoti company yega yega iwe corruption clearance certificate. Saka zvinochitibetsera manje kuti tikwanise kumhanya usiku chidiki timbobatsirana pakudhila necorruption. Chekupedzisira chimwe ndibasira ningotaura kuti muno democracy inopa marights. Ndoda kutaura kuti vechidiki vari muno. Democracy inotipa marights. But marights ane ka deception karipo unoda kunodemand. Right yangu iri muconstitution ndipei. Asi mukatarisa wisdom inova inoshayikwa dzimwe nguva mudemocracy. Wisdom inoti kune vakuru ane nzira dzekunokumbira zvinhu. Tikapinda mumastreets tichiita violence unozvinyima. Saka iwo unotidiki, you must be very clever, very strategic. Jesu akaticha kuti you must be as wise as a serpent. Kune dzimwe nyaya dzinoda kudzidziswe kunana baba kunana mai. Dzinosvika ndodzimwe nguva as young people tinotaura out of excitement, so much energy. But kuti baba vane imwe language inonzwikwa nana mai. So that is what
tinotenda murowere maoko. Yes. When the youth have said it, can we budge? Give him a pam-pam again. Over to you, Master of Ceremony.
Thank you, co-conveners, for that section. We are going to have a short entertainment from the police band, but as they do that, there are people that are standing because we have left seats in the middle. We'll ask you to move into those seats so that those people that are standing can find a place to sit as well. The place is getting full, so please, if there's an empty seat next to you, move into that seat so that other people can fill up the other seats. Thank you. Police band.